Workhouse Players present A Pigeon Called Hat by Max Jones. Episode 5. As autumn turned to winter, I fell into a routine with Grandad. I would make breakfast for him whenever he got up, and we would talk for a little while. His conversations were more repetitive, and he often forgot where he was. His language was also pretty raw, and the F word was in frequent use, sometimes inserted into the most surprising of statements.
Pass the fucking salt, would you? The eggs you made are okay, but they need some fucking salt on them.
His language and behaviour made him dangerous and unpredictable for Mum and Dad. They never knew when a string of expletives would pepper a simple inquiry about the weather or any other subject. And so he was often hidden away and encouraged to spend more and more time in his room. But he used to escape regularly and somehow always got out when he heard the girls turn up for coffee. He was like an out-of-control child, but with a greater understanding of how to create mayhem that adulthood afforded him. He would appear from nowhere shortly after the girls had arrived and sit right among them, often wearing only his pyjama bottoms and a string vest. His speciality was calling to Mum in the kitchen gems such as,
Susan! Cynthia doesn't look that fat. I thought you said she'd been packing on the pounds since her husband walked out. Something about comfort eating, didn't you say?
He'd smile around the group as if asking for their indulgence at his poor memory.
Oh, you'll have to forgive me, ladies. I can't always remember the exact words at my age.
Mum would then come running in and say something about him not listening properly and that she had never said any such thing. However, Grandad would have given just enough factual information to show beyond doubt that she had. Behaving like the worst kind of spoiled brat, asking embarrassing questions and refusing to be quiet. I would then be called in my official capacity as Grandad Wrangler to take him elsewhere and distract him with the television or a long walk down to the river. On those walks, we would slowly shuffle along next to me, the realization dawning as the rain beat down and the wind chilled us that he was being punished for something. Once, on a walk to the river, I stopped and asked him,
Why do you do that, Grandad? Embarrass Mum like that. I know you don't understand, but it really upsets her. You can't keep doing that.
He laughed and chucked me on the arm. When I just continued to stare at him, his head dropped and he mumbled,
I know.
By the time we got home, Grandad just wanted to go to his room and sleep. Because of the things he'd revealed, Mum's friends stopped coming over and stopped inviting her to theirs. Mum would ring them, but they were always too busy to talk. Mum kept on calling them, though, even as the calls were never returned. Most mornings after breakfast, I would sit in the kitchen and try to put together ideas for a sketch, a play, or an article for a magazine. Anything to earn some money before Mum insisted I started to pay my way and return to work at the pub. Mr. Walden, it turned out, had a gambling problem. They'd been declared bankrupt and had left the pub in the middle of the night with the takings and most of the stock. I didn't mind returning in principle, but there was a part of me that knew that if I did, I would never follow my writing dream. Aunty Vi would also have been disappointed in me, and this I really could not live with. After a morning spent achieving nothing at the typewriter, I'd take a long, slow walk into town in the afternoons. As I had no money for bus fares, I would sit for hours on the riverbank watching the ducks and birds, hoping that inspiration would strike me and I'd write something so brilliant it'd become an overnight bestseller. When I got home, Grandad would be sat in his chair fast asleep. Two of us alone, I would sit and watch him, listen to his breathing. I noticed how his expression would change as he slept, and I wondered who it was that made him smile. Grandma Maggie or Molly, the pretty woman he would never discuss. It seemed we were both in our own ways waiting, our lives on pause until the next event, outside of both of our control, brought change. This afternoon routine continued until one day in late spring, I got home to find the doors to the patio wide open and Grandad sitting in his normal chair, awake. He also had a fat pigeon sitting on his head. I sank down in the chair opposite him. The pigeon, after looking briefly disturbed by my entrance, settled back into Grandad's hair. It began absently pulling at strands with its beak as if commencing nest building. Grandad looked at me. I tried and failed to read his expression. I worried that if he didn't know it was there, pointing it out to him might cause him to panic. I decided the best thing to do would be to play it cool, let him mention it, and then I would know.
Hi, Grandad.
Hello, Philip. Nice walk.
Oh, I didn't mention it. Oh, no. He really didn't know it was there. This was going to be difficult.
Yes, it's still quite cold out, even though it's nearly summer.
I babbled with a fixed smile that must have made me look demonic.
But bright out. There. Yes. Lots of ducks on the river today.
That's nice.
Yes.
I shouted, disturbing both Grandad and nesting pigeon.
Yes. It is nice. Very, very nice. Very nice indeed.
The pigeon had adopted an off-putting habit of looking as if he were listening intently to what we were saying. When Grandad spoke, it would look directly down at him from the top of his head. As I replied, it would fix me with a beady stare and tilt its head to one side as if assessing my words.
Yes, it was really, good. Bit cold, though.
Yes, you said. Cold. Well, it's only spring, I suppose.
Yes!
Too loud!
Even late spring could be cold sometimes.
Yes, only to be expected in the, spring.
The pigeon, satisfied that I presented no threat, resumed its plaiting of Grandad's hair, which, though grey, was still very thick. Plaiting completed, the bird settled and lowered its wings either side of Grandad's head, covering his ears. Grandad now appeared to be weathering a feathered deerstalker.
Did you have any tea?
Well, I was going to go up and make some, but I think I may have fallen asleep.
This couldn't go on.
Grandad, did you know there's a pigeon on your head?
Grandad's response was not what I had expected.
You little shit!
Grandad!
Why have you been sat there for the past 10 minutes talking total bollocks when there's a fucking pigeon sat on my head?
Grandad, I didn't think you knew it was there. I didn't want to upset you.
Upset me? You moron! Of course I knew it was bloody there! It's a bloody pigeon! It weighs a ton! I thought you didn't say anything. I was hallucinating. I thought, well, if he couldn't see it, he would have said something. So, as he hasn't, it clearly isn't there. And I've been sat here for the last 10 minutes thinking I'd gone mad. Thinking I was still dreaming and I couldn't wake up. Then I thought, maybe I died. And the pigeon was Jesus come to fly me away.
Bit extreme. The pigeon didn't like the shouting and clearly thought that I was the cause. It raised its wings from Grandad's ears and narrowed its eyes at me.
I'm sorry, Grandad. Actually, when you think about it, it's quite funny.
His face told me he didn't agree.
Look, I'll get it off your head.
No, sod off. It's keeping my head warm. Some idiot left the patio door open. It's freezing in here.
But, Grandad, you can't sit around with a pigeon on your head.
Yes, I can. I think I'll call it Hat.
I got up, made tea and brought it in. Hat watched me intently through Grandad's hair.
Do you think Hat would like one of those nice digestives your mother brought?
Maybe. I don't know what pigeons eat, Grandad.
Well, go and get one and we'll find out.
Grandad broke a piece of the biscuit off and then offered it up to Hat. The bird plucked at it with sharp forward movements that threatened to dislodge it. Biscuit consumed, it then pecked at Grandad's head, hunting for crumbs.
Ugh, that isn't nice. I didn't think of the crumbs. I'll have to train it not to. Anyway, I need the toilet. That tea's gone right through me.
Okay, are you, going to go together?
Grandad looked at me as if this were yet another stupid question. He slowly stood, and Hat counterbalanced with perfect timing, as if they were both students at a Swiss deportment class. However, Grandad forgot to duck as he picked up speed on the flat, aiming for the door, and slapped Hat into the top of the door frame. The bird fell off, flapping in panic, and hit the floor. I ran across and picked it up, walked it to the patio doors, and gave it its freedom. Grandad came to stand next to me and watched as the bird flew into the distance. He shrugged.
Hey, you should make that into one of your crappy radio plays. An old man with a pigeon on his head. A pigeon called Hat.
You have been listening to A Pigeon Called Hat by Max Jones, featuring Anthony Weaver as Philip, aged 8, 15 and 20, Uncle Bryn, and Philip's dad. Mand Austin played Aunty Vi, Sam Daniel played Grandad, Margaret Forster played Mum, Julie Holmes played Blodwyn, Sheila Jennings played Janice and the woman on the train, Jelly Rose played Margaret, and Max Jones was the narrator. It was directed by Sheila Jennings and recorded at the Old Nick Theatre in Gainsborough. It was recorded and edited by Gordon Craig. This has been a Workhouse Players production.